Maybe after the video. Got it. Squeeze. And what is up, everyone? Kate here from Uppbeat Tennis. Hope you guys are doing great today. Made it back home. School's all done. Lost in the round of 32, but we're not here to talk about my school too much. We're here to talk about the Rafa Origin Pure Aero. So, this is a crazy racket, but before we jump into it, do not forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. It means a lot if you can subscribe to us. It really helps us give you guys better content. So be sure to like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and of course, much more to come now that I'm at home. So like I said, this is the Rafa Pure Aero Origin. And I actually had this racket for a while, just sitting at school, because I couldn't demo it though because we were in season. And big thanks to Tennislon for sending this one over. If you guys are wanting to check out the Pure Aero Origin, the regular Pure Aero, or any other, Babolat rackets, shoes, anything, you can use our code on Tennislon to get a little bit of a discount. So, what do I think about this one? Like I said, I was looking at it in my room for the last few months, and I just kept thinking, I don't think I'm gonna like it. I haven't played with a Pure Aero in so long. This is the one that I used to play with back when I was a junior. I used to play with the Pure Aero Tour, and honestly, before they came out with the Origin, the Tour versions of the Pure Aero were probably the closest to, the Origin, how it feels now, just because it was heavier. And with that being said, I wasn't necessarily excited or didn't think I was going to like it just because I'm so used to the kind of head racket feeling or control-oriented rackets. I love that feeling, and I've kind of gotten away from the Pure Aero sort of pure drive, maybe even E-zone sort of rackets. So I wasn't thinking I was going to like it. However, I play tested this, and this racket is absolutely incredible. And I'm not just saying that. For my loyal viewers, there's a couple rackets that I really love. There's my Extreme Tour that I used to use. I use my Radical now, which I really love. I love the Whiteout Extended 1820, and I love the Wilson Shift. This racket is up there in that category for rackets that I play tested and absolutely loved. I'm just going to say that right off the bat. The difference between something like this and the Pure Aero regular, or maybe the old Tour, is I feel like the material that's used is just better, and maybe it's not. The racket overall just feels way more solid. In order to use this though, you gotta be pretty strong, and you have to be able to produce a good level. I think if you're your regular club, weekend warrior, this racket is not going to work for you, and you're going to struggle to use it because it's quite heavy. I'm used to playing with my Rads. They're close to 350 grams static, so this is not a huge adjustment. I'm actually not sure what this comes in static with strings with it. I don't know. I got to figure that out. But it's definitely heavy. It's on the heavier side. It's way heavier than the regular Pure Aero, because the regular Pure Aero is around 300 grams. I did actually string this up with one of my older strings that I used to use, Solingo Confidential 16 gauge. The reason why I didn't put Super Toro in it is I feel like putting a string like that in one of these rackets would make it too powerful, and I really wanted to tame it down, so that's why I put Confidential in it. So yeah, the main thing that I noticed from previous Pure Aeros, or even the regular Pure Aero from last year, I guess they still have that one now, is when you're making contact in the middle of the string bed, it doesn't like explode off the racket in a sense that it's gonna hit the fence. Sometimes Pure Aeros get that like huge spin, huge power effect, and some people have a hard time controlling them. I think the string pattern is a little tighter in this one, so you're able to control that, and the power that you receive from it is so tameable compared to previous rackets, like Pure Aero rackets, I mean. So that was an absolute pleasure to play with. Flattening it out with this racket, I actually had no problem. This is something that I used to struggle big time with this racket, and I think it's just because of the pattern in the racket. It's a little tighter maybe. On forehands, like I said, you can flatten it out, you can produce the spin you want to produce. Backhands is also where I used to have an issue with my Pure Aero, just felt maybe a little bit flimsy. This racket is not flimsy whatsoever. You can hit topspin, you can hit, you know, slice as well, actually was not bad here. Like that's another thing, touch and feel shots. I'll get to the volleys and what I thought, but I thought I was not gonna like it with this Pure Aero, because like I said, with this one behind me, and even the most recent one, the regular one, I struggled a bit on backhand and slice and touch and feel shots. It just felt flimsy. Not the case with this bad boy. No flimsiness whatsoever. So backhand was fine, slice was solid. Maybe not as good as like my Radical, just because I'm so used to that, and maybe some other control-oriented rackets I would prefer on a slice backhand. However, this for a a very power-oriented heavy racket, stability was good on the slice and all that stuff was totally fine. Up at net, you would think this racket would be probably garbage, but it's absolutely a beast. I felt like I could not miss a volley at all. No chance. Like, I also had the sensation that I could like slap volleys. Now, like, that's not a good thing, but like if somebody hit a ground stroke to me and like I could just absolutely plow it, like swing volley, not like a forehand, but like a continental like slap, you don't want to do that. I felt like I could, and it would just be a winner every time. It's so solid. Like, I also say this in some of my other racket reviews, like when you're up at the net and you hit a volley, sometimes the racket will kind of flex or flimsy out. Kind of making up some words here, but this racket like does not do that at all. The old Pure Aero did do that up at the net. The regular Pure Aero did do that up at the net. The extra weight in this definitely beefs it up, and you can feel it on shots like that. I also felt like I could be kind of cute around the net with this racket, something that Pure Aeros you normally can't do. Like, you could have some touch and feel for sure. Overhead was fine. Felt a little heavy overhead swinging though, and I'll get to that on the serve. But yeah, up at the net, this thing is honestly, it's a wand. Like, it's insane. Like, you could have the touch and the feel shots of like a Prestige, but then like all of a sudden you get like these deep, powerful volleys like you would from a Babolat. And like, it's super stable, like you would have already added lead on it. And that's why it's the Rafa Origin. It's heavy. It's their Pro Staff RF for Babolat. I will say too, I would highly suggest stringing in a full bed of poly. I would be personally scared to string this with a hybrid. I think it would just play really weird. I think Pure Aero rackets and Pure Dive rackets, just across the board in general, should be strung with a full bed of poly. You just get the most out of them, most spin potential, all of that stuff. But yeah, when it comes to serve, this is where I had a tiny bit of a downfall, and it just felt heavy overhead. I could handle it, the maneuverability was fine off the ground, up at the net, hitting slices, like I said, it was great. But when it came to kind of hitting overhead, I noticed like a little bit of a sluggish feeling. The maneuverability felt a little bit not as good maybe. And like, that also could be part because like in general, Pure Aero rackets, they're bulky, right? They got thick beams, the throat is pretty thick. This one is even thicker than like the normal one. It feels a little thicker down here as well. So I just feel like overhead, it was a little tough to to swing sometimes. Not that my arm was getting tired, because it wasn't. It just felt bulky overhead. But the reward on serve was still there. I don't think I missed the flat serve when I was hitting serves from the deuce side. You guys will see those overlays. Like, I just didn't miss a flat serve. So like, the result was perfect. It just felt not as good as some other parts, like the forehand, the volley, etc. Also, you know, could hit the slice for sure, and also the kick serve. But same thing, when it came to like kind of moving the ball in the box a bit with some spins, it did feel heavy overhead. And last, the returns, also amazing. I had the same sensation on the return as I did the volleys. When the ball literally hit the string, might not even have been in the middle of the string bed, it was just so solid, and you could just feel everything come into the grip as you were making contact. I love that feeling. That's something you get with control rackets, and I got it with this racket. And I don't know if it's just because it's really beefed up, or if it's like, somebody's got to tell me. I don't know all the deets on this Babolat to the degree. Is it like the first model? Is it like that one that first came out? I forget what they called it. Aero Pro Drive maybe, or something like that. Is it that racket? A lot of people are saying that, kind of like how Wilson does their Pro Labs and stuff. But this racket is crazy. On the return, it feels so solid. It's like, like if I was gonna switch, I would really be trying to switch to something like this if I was trying to get some more power and spin. But yeah, this racket is honestly, like, it's nuts. Like, it just feels really good when you're playing with it. Now I'm just kind of fanboying here about this racket. Like I said, I put Slinger Confidential in it. This racket is not for a junior. I would not give this racket to like a junior that's even like 18 or maybe 17 and under. It's just gonna be too heavy. I also think if you're like a 3.5 and under, you definitely don't want to touch this racket unless you want to buy it as like a collectible item. It's just gonna be way too heavy for you, and I just don't think you're gonna enjoy it. That's one thing as club players or just players in general. You gotta be careful when you buy these types of rackets. It's not gonna make you play like Rafa, I can tell you that, but you might want it just to say you own one. I get that, but to buy it thinking that you're gonna play like Rafa is just not gonna work, unfortunately. But I definitely can see how Rafa plays with this and has lots of success, or how he did, whether it's this or a very similar mold. It's just really crazy, this racket. It blows every Pure Aero that I've ever played with, Tour version or not Tour version, VS version or not VS, out of the water. So yeah, super pumped that I got an opportunity to play with this. And normally I sell my demos after I'm done using them, but I don't think I want to sell this one just because it was so awesome to play with. But that is gonna be it, guys. We're gonna be watching Rafa play with probably a mold at least similar to this one. I don't think he likes this paint job for some reason. It looks like he's gonna be playing Roland Garros, so let's cheer him on. Hopefully he can make a little bit of a run here and finish his career. It's coming to an end soon. So that's gonna be it. Like also I said, if you want to purchase this racket or any other rackets, equipment, you can use our code on Tennis-On. Big thanks to them for sending me this racket. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next video.